Good morning YouTube, Sergeant Foos here with another video on the Wi-Fi Pineapple Mark 7, and today we're gonna cover the 2.0 release candidate firmware. It's been a while since I made a video, and the reason for that is because I was really busy with work, holidays, kids, you name it. I was abroad for my work, and I was planning on doing some nice hotel videos for you guys to do some nice evil portals. But to be honest, the 2.0 firmware was struggling a bit with the evil portal. A lot of work had to be done from the guys from Hak5. So the community, I really appreciate these guys. They work really hard. They're really responsive on dealing with everything. So if you are not new to Hak5 gear, but let's say you bought gear 2 years ago, like I did, there was a point that I was really frustrated and disappointed with the support of Hak5. The community was kind of lame, not responsive, not really, no firmware releases, no bug fixes. That has completely changed. So since the release of the Mark 7, the beginning was slow, but let's say half year ago, maybe earlier, but half year ago it really stepped up. So they started gathering a team, the community grow, the responsiveness on the forums is really good these days. The Discord channel is filled with people that are really good with helping you throughout all the issues that you could possibly face. So I took a little gamble, to be honest, at the moment, because what you need to do is you need, wherever firmware you are on, you need to do this factory reset and recovery procedure, because I've seen many people struggling with getting towards the new release candidate, and that is because a lot of things has changed. So what you need to do is go to docs.hak5.org and go to the button that says factory reset and recovery. It shows you this Darren Kitchen recovery video, which you can follow. It also has a written manual down here. The risk I took is that when you click this download center, it brings you to this page, and you can't find the 2.0 beta release candidate in here, because this is only stables and the recovery firmware and a tool for Linux. So you need to download this one, run that update. So follow the procedure in the video. You need to give your adapter, you need to go into your connect your Pineapple to PC. That's the best thing to do with a USB-C cable. That's what I like to do, and then it shows up in here as a Pineapple, and you can tell it's a Pineapple by ASIX. That's a chipset. So, and then Darren Kitchen tells you to right click it, give it a static IP address like this, and then you go to your normal Pineapple port. But instead of going to port 1471, you go to port 80. That's where you get the recovery page that tells you upload the recovery firmware, which you can download here with the little cloud button. I've done that, I completed it, and then I took a gamble. I went one step back. So if you're on this page, you go one step back, where you can click Wi-Fi Pineapple. In the bottom you see latest releases, and I took a gamble by downloading the 2.0 beta straight from here, and then when the recovery page tells you, hey, press and hold your button for 4 seconds, or quick press, you end up at a page where you need to connect to Wi-Fi, and above it says or directly upload a firmware from your computer. I took a gamble by doing this, so I completed the recovery, and then I took the gamble to go straight to beta. I already had a problem with that, so I restarted it, but I guess it's gonna fail. So guys, it's better to go to recovery, then check the box that says update to the latest version, which will bring you to 1.1.1, and then if you go to the advanced menu in networks, you can say, hey, I want to update to beta as well, and then when you press search for new firmware, it shows you the beta. That's the official way to do it, and it will work for sure. So first recover, finish 1.1.1, press the update button, and go to the latest beta. If my version works, we will see that in a minute. So at the moment my My LED is still blinking blue, which means it's doing the firmware update, and you can see it's going. So let's give this a minute to finish. And there's a thing I really need to tell you, because I had many problems with my cable. The cable that comes with Pineapple, this little one, in my case it has a flaw. So when I insert it on the Pineapple and I wiggle it a bit, it loses power, and that's the latest thing you want, the last thing you want when you're doing a firmware update. So either it has to do with this section in the box where it's folded in. It might be that the corner will break the cable like this. I think it's just, you know, in general it's a low quality cable, so I really recommend you to upgrade your cable. And if you're Dutch like me, you're cheap, so you want everything high quality, but you don't want to pay for it, so you go to AliExpress and you buy this fancy USB 2.0 to USB-C, which works really well. And I also have a USB-C straight to my motherboard, also C in there. I will quickly show you the page on where I bought it. So this is AliExpress, and this is the USB 2 to C. This fancy LED is fake. It goes red, blue, green. Looks really cool. Doesn't do shit. But this cable is braided. It's high quality. I love it. So, and the price is only €3.73, so it's less than €4 for the 2-meter version. And then the cable I really recommend is the USB-C to USB-C. I took the 100-watt cable, which is €5.50, including shipping, 2-meter, from this brand, Bazus. So if you're, I have this red one. It's a beautiful cable. It's strong. It's rock solid. I love this cable. So see, the bend corner is really good. So I highly recommend you to invest in a proper cable. It will only set you back €5.50, which is really worth it in my opinion. So let's see where we are. So the blue LED is still blinking. In the meantime, I'm going to show you my evil portal, Github. So this is where all my software, hints and tricks will be stored, so you can download all the work we're doing in my videos. I highly recommend you to check this every now and then. I didn't make a video on it, but I do want to mention that I'm working on, I finished the portal for McDonald's, and I did some nice changes on this one. So I've been there. There's going to be a video about me stealing credentials from somebody, talking to the manager of McDonald's and doing all kind of stuff. But the really cool thing is that I managed to modify the portal that was already used by everyone, the Starbucks one, and rather than assuming that someone has a login from Starbucks, which the default portal does, so it assumes the client had connection before, was logged into Starbucks, and then we set up the evil portal. The client walks into Starbucks and we spoof him and bring him into our fake portal. That assumes that the client had connection with Starbucks in the past. And many people, especially in the Netherlands, they don't have Starbucks. They've never been to it. You see it more and more near highways in cities, but I feel like we should be able to fool many people and make them aware that free Wi-Fi is bad. So what I've done, I've modified the portal, and rather than asking for a login, I try to fool him to make an account, because nobody will have a McDonald's account for the Wi-Fi simply because it does not exist. If you go to McDonald's, you scan the air for Wi-Fi, you find a free McDonald's Wi-Fi, but there's no landing page. It's just boom, straight on the internet, at least for the 3 McDonald's I visited. So what I've done, allow free Wi-Fi, which hopefully tells the client, hey, you're gonna get it free, but you need to make an account. So many people have only one email address, not us tech savvy guys, but the ones that go to McDonald's, they do. They put it in here, so the one they use for Facebook, the one they use for everything. And then most people also have just one password these days. and some might have 2 or 3. But I'm going to assume that people that fall for this page will drop their default email, put in their most used password, and I hope they're gonna say accept the terms. And even if they press the no account, click to create an account, it will, if you click it without filling in, it will highlight this email box and password that you need to fill in something. Either way which they press, we will get the email and the password. So everything you see here is bogus. So the terms and conditions are modified to be bogus. All of this is bogus. I spent a lot of time getting the colors right, looking at pictures that I found on the internet, which are really hard to get, by the way, because it seems that there's no standard for the Wi-Fi of McDonald's, which makes it even worse in terms of security. And there's also, in the restaurants, there's no sign that tells you, hey, this is your free Wi-Fi, this is the SSID, your page should look like this, click here and here. It doesn't tell you all of that. It's just, it's open, good luck client. That's how McDonald's rolls. And I think that many companies will have the same policy, like Burger King, the railway station, the airport. And this page can really fool some people, because trust me, I've been there, I've done a test, and it works. So, to come back, where is my progress on the firmware? Are we getting anywhere? Still blinking. So beta 2 is a proper size firmware, and I hope it works this time. By the way, I see I need to update some of this text, which I will do later. I haven't had enough time to get new stuff for you ready, because I was in a hotel. Let me pull up my camera. I was in a hotel and they gave me this, and it was laying on a desk in one of those nice transparent stands, and people could take it. And to be honest, if I would have, this is just cheap paper, I could have basically made my own and put something in here and trick clients to do whatever I want with it. It's a laugh. If you go to any hotel these days, it's terrible. So yeah, looking the future of fooling people looks bright for us, and the Mark 7 is the perfect tool to do just that. It's made for that, and I'm hoping one day that one of the people, one of the community will give us the option. So now it drops you the landing portal in any case. I'm hoping for a version where we can say, hey, only show and present the portal whenever a certain website is met. So we fool the people to get on the Wi-Fi, let's say McDonald's. They can browse just like any McDonald's, go wherever they want. But at a certain trigger, let's say hotmail.com, we present them our portal, which can then be a fake Google or Gmail page. That's what I'm really hoping for the future, because that would be awesome. If we could fool the people like Beef does. If you're familiar with Linux hacking, there's a program called Beef. It can basically do that. You set up a trigger, or you can direct the client towards a page. That would be awesome. And I think the portal is a really good base for that. So let's see what the community comes up with. And this firmware is taking forever. So maybe I'm gonna cut it out just to speed up the progress. But that's basically the future where I'm going. So I'm gonna make more videos on how to deal with portals. I was planning on doing one every week. So for the railway station I'm planning one, for the airport, the Dutch airport, which is a really big one, also as a hub for Europe. A lot of people from all over the world transfer on the airport, so I'm really looking forward to make one, and we're gonna use the McDonald's one as a base to do the same trick. If you haven't seen the latest video, I've made the evil portal for Ziggo, which is an famous ISP in the Netherlands. So I take you through all the steps to make the Ziggo Wi-Fi spots one. The links will be down in the description below. So this one I made for a hotel, a famous hotel in the Netherlands. So these are all real guides on how to make your own portal. Yeah, so I haven't made the one for the McDonald's, but it's basically the same as the Ziggo one. It's just reusing stuff that we already had, and you can download it as a template and use it. In the next video I will take the McDonald's one as the template and show you how to deal with it. For now it's just waiting, and I will see you guys back once the update is done. So see you in a bit. Alright, and we are back. So I tried to do the fast way with updating the firmware of the Pineapple Mark 7. I can confirm by now it didn't work. So I did the recovery firmware, and then I tried to jump straight into 2.0 beta. It didn't work, so by now I can tell you the official way is do the firmware factory default as in the video of Darren Kitchen, then connect to Wi-Fi, download the latest, so let the Pineapple download the latest, which will bring you to 1.1.1 stable. Once that's done, don't spend too much time configuring it. Go to the menu in the bottom left corner where it says settings, go to advanced, and then under here setup channel, make sure it says beta, press set the update channel, and now when you go into settings on the bottom left you can click the check for updates, and if it's already up to date it will tell you. But that's the official way. I tried to do the shortcut, it didn't work, so yeah. And also this is quite new if you've not seen it before. Reinstall current firmware, that's for when you break things and you don't really have access to internet, or you can't get the Pineapple to connect to Wi-Fi anymore. So that's a good feature to make sure it's able to recover itself. While we're here we can jump to a couple things. The time zone is very important, although you might not think it's important. It is, because when you do updates it listens very careful to what this says, and I got some out of sync issues in the past, so make sure this is correct. Then on the right side we have all the USB devices, and as you can see my Lenovo USB adapter is plugged in, which is recognized out of the box, meaning that you can plug it in and it works. This is a USB 3 Lenovo ThinkPad USB. I think there's only one on the Google if you search for it. I had this laying around, I plugged it in, found out it worked, so happy. We'll spend some little time on this in a second. And then you have all the default stuff that comes with the Pineapple. So on the network side, you still have the client mode to make sure that the antenna of one of the antennas of the Mark 7 connects to Wi-Fi. So you press the little scan thing here. The drop down will occupy with a list, and then you can pick one. This section is new here where it says Ethernet. I'm very pleased with this. So this is the ETH1. So if we would go to bus 1, we will find later on. So this is the device. This is my ThinkPad. So in here you see it's got an IP. By default the Pineapple puts it on DHCP, and now you are able to make it static, which is very convenient. So if you want to leave your Pineapple Mark 7 behind somewhere, you can configure which I do a lot, so configure it on a static IP, so you can port forward, or you can take some measurements to make sure you can reach it. So that's very convenient. I really love this. So thank you guys. The Recon wireless interface, this is where you set up which antenna is going to be able to do the Recon. This is also new because you can now connect the new 5 GHz dongle which they sell, and you can plug it in on the USB port. You can scan for it and it will find it. I have an alpha 5 GHz one laying around here. Unfortunately that one is being recognized. You can select it here and it will do everything. So when you go to your Recon, it will even have this 5 GHz thing. Unfortunately the chipset is not supported yet or ever, I'm not sure. But yeah, so that's where the Recon interface option comes from. Then you have the interfaces, so this will tell you all the default stuff that's going on. So your ETH1, that's your, in my case, my adapter, my USB adapter, USB to Ethernet. You can find all the details of all the antennas going on. You can see it's in monitor mode at the moment. And then on the bottom there's the routing table. I had many issues with this, with the 2.0 beta. So now running also a beta, but it's a release candidate, and in the past version 3, 4, 5 I had issues with this. So this is fixed now, so I'm really pleased with this, because I couldn't get my Ethernet to work with my adapter every time, and it had some problems with the destination as default. So as you can see here, the first default is my real modem. So this is the gateway, so to say, my modem that brings the internet into my house. And the problem was with the previous firmwares, it would put this one on top and then I couldn't reach the internet. So just a quick note, a simple way to verify if your Ethernet is working. Click on the terminal and quickly do a ping to Google or whatever, and you can see it has internet. Ctrl C to escape. By the way, sometimes you find on the forums that you need to update, although you have the latest version, you need to update your Pineapple, and it's simple, an OPKG update. So this is the OpenWRT firmware that's running on a Pineapple. This way you can update it. But there's no need if you're gonna go with stuff out of the box. So sometimes they refer to updating, make sure it's the latest. Back to advanced. So this is where you set your update channel. This is the cartography view, which I'm not really using. It's the 3D view in Recon. So if you go in here on the top right, you have this button here that gives you this fancy overview of all the associated networks, and it can even do 3D. And so that's where that comes from. And then we have the management axis, which is really cool. So now you can set how you will be able to connect to your Pineapple. So you can, in the old days you had to go search for Wi-Fi and find the Pineapple underscore your MAC address, and that was your way to connect to the Pineapple. With the latest firmware you can also control how to connect to it, so you can even say allow management action from everywhere. So if you, this brings a risk of course, because if you're running an evil portal, your clients connect to the portal with this box enabled. If they have this address, so with the port number, yes, they can access your management console from the Pineapple. But remember, you are asked to change the password. So yeah, I think you're pretty safe on this, but it's very convenient. So now you have access from USB-C, Ethernet adapter, Wi-Fi, all kinds of ways to get into there. So even from the WPA, which we'll cover in a few seconds. So very convenient, I really love this. Censorship mode, this is what I'm using at the moment, so if that's enabled and you do a Recon, you do a scan, and you go to list view, you can see all the names here have become fruits, so pear, plum, strawberry. So for me as a YouTube recorder, this is very convenient. I'm not bothering with my neighbors now. So this is censorship mode. I'm going to disable it later on in the video, because I'm going to show you some things and I need you to see whatever we scan, and I got permission, so don't worry. And my home network is powered off, by the way, so that should be good. Anything else? Hotkeys, you can still enable hotkeys. Host name you can change, could be convenient if you do an angry IP scan or something. Yeah, so they've done some updates on these menus. So, all right, then let's go to the first tab. Well, this is your system status. Here you can tell if somebody is connected to your Pineapple. So if a client's connecting, you can monitor that here. It's convenient if you're running an evil access point or something. It gives you some overviews of the SSID collected, the landscape of wireless campaigns, which we might cover a little bit or in another video, I'm not sure. But they've done a lot of updates on the campaigns, and I haven't played with all the features, so maybe I'm going to separate that if you're interested. But campaigns is basically used to go if you go on an engagement where the client tells you, hey, you need to pen test this, this, and this, but I don't want you to pen test this, this, and this, or maybe it's your company policy to just not do pen test on anything else but the stuff in scope. So that's where you set up a campaign, and they improve that a lot. Actually, it was quite fun to play with this. So reports, campaign reports, this is where you download all the reports that have been generated. So Pine AP, the Pine AP setting, it's I wouldn't say completely rewritten, but it's overhauled. It had a lot of updates, and for very good reasons. In the back end they did awesome stuff with this, so it still looks the same. You can still do a passive scan, an active, or the advanced one where you have more control, but in the back end it all changed, so very convenient. Connected clients, here you can see the previous one and the current connected, you can block them, do whatever. Filtering as of before, but be aware that I recommend you to set everything on an allow list, meaning that you need to put the SSID in here if you want to be able to do something with it, which is kind of annoying sometimes, because if you forget to put the SSID in here that you want, it looks like nothing happens and it doesn't work. But if you are in the deny list, it's gonna fool every single Wi-Fi in the neighborhood, which you don't want. That's it. The Pineapple is going to be very busy, and it's going to be slow, and it's doing stuff you might not want. So I recommend putting it on allow list for both the clients, and the clients are the units that you see here. So this is an SSID watermelon, and it has a client, so you can put this, if you click on it, add it to the MAC filter. That will put it on the left side in the client filter. So if I would now click on this client, and since it's on allow, it's going to allow the Pineapple to play with this client. So it's going to do handshake captures and stuff. And you can also still do the de-authentication. For an access point it's different. See, so this is a client, 2 options. This is an access point, multiple options. They improved this section so you can see a lot of stuff about the security of a client. I'm not sure if this is going to work when we are in censorship mode. And the strawberry might have gone out of air because I'm not sure how old this scan is. So let's do a quick scan. So grape, my 30 seconds were not gone, so maybe I'm too quick. So let's do security information. Security information tells you what kind of security is going on, what kind of cipher has been used, so it gives you a lot of details, and it even tells you, hey, this access point is not worth dealing with. It's well secured, and that means it's going to take a long time for cracking the passwords on it. So basically that's good news. if you're yeah. So in here you can set the scan location where it saves all the scan reports, save the scan location, so you can do all the filtering you like. On the right side, that's still going on. Previous scans you can download, delete. This button is new if you're unfamiliar with 2.0. So in here it says automatically collect any handshake, and this is quite aggressive. So this will do channel hopping, so the pineapple goes on one antenna through the three most used channels, the 3, 6 and 9 top of my head, I'm not sure, maybe I'm speaking bogus, channel 11 maybe. Anyways, it's doing the channel hopping and it's collecting the data, so every now and then it might miss something, but I've seen this work really well compared to old firmware. So but make sure that it only works, of course, when the filter is on the correct setting. So because I basically block the unit from doing anything, it doesn't collect. So if you're having trouble collecting, make sure that the filter list is if you want anything, just say to Pineapple, I want everything, go in here, and now it's gonna do everything you want. So that button, there's no real control over this. So collect automatically it's gonna ask every client that comes by to get the handshake. It will store it in here if you find one, and maybe we can quickly do a quick scan just for the sake of showing you, because this is pretty aggressive. This is pretty aggressive, so let me see if I can connect with my phone. I'm connected to the McDonald's at the moment. So it's gonna bother my my friends, my neighbors, everything. But they do know I'm recording, so don't worry. So the list automatically refreshes. Basically, you let this go for a while and it will pop up notifications in the top that it found handshake. So don't worry about this. Trust me, it works. It works really well. So let this go for a while. If you go back to Pine AP settings, you see it's jumped to advanced now. It's doing its thing. It's magic. See, we got a connected banana. That's my phone. You can kick it if you like. Then enterprise. This is amazing. This is what I really love. So enterprise is where I see there's a lot of hacking possibilities. So many Wi-Fi's from home perspective are WPA2 secured, and they're secured well or not well, it doesn't matter. But if you go to a basic large organization company, they have the option to do enterprise security. Your home modem might as well, but you're basically never going to use it. So what enterprise does is it allows you to put in a server. So I have an access point laying next to me, and I put the security. I'm not connected, so I can't show you, but I put the security on a higher level. So I filled in an IP address for a server and stuff, so it's running the 801X security, as they call it. I did a video on that. If you're interested, go ahead and look for the video. But basically, if you try to connect to a Wi-Fi, and this is the company X, when you connect to it, it not only asks you for a password, but it will ask you for both a username and a password. And for instance, my company is a large organization. It uses this, so they have more than 5,000 employees. Not the company I work for, but the company who owns my company. And they all use this. And what they use in the back end is the Okta, which you might have heard about. Hak5 did a video recently that Okta was been breached. So what it does, I put my email address in, my work email address, and with a little bit of search on any company, you can find someone's email address, right? Tech support at company X, etc. And if I then use my laptop's password, I can connect to the Wi-Fi wherever I go on the planet where my company set up access points, and they have a lot, so they have like 1,500 offices worldwide. Wherever I go, my email, my password allows me to log into the Wi-Fi anywhere on the planet if I'm in a vicinity where they run the SSID of my work. So you can imagine if we are able to capture the username and the password from, let's say, myself. So you are able to capture my username, which you can find anyway on internet. It's my email address. Then you only need the password, and we can crack that. And there are multiple ways for companies to set up the 801X. So as you can see, they can hand you a certificate. So they can give you like a file that you need to use. It needs to be on your laptop, and if it's on your laptop, you can click here. You don't need to fill this stuff in, and it will work. My company, on the other hand, did the simple version, which many companies do. I put in my username and password. It goes to the internet, checks on a server of the company if I'm allowed in. If I am, I get internet access, and depending on the company, they can even give you, based on your MAC address, so your laptop's MAC address, certain access to certain file structures. But for instance, my company, and I bet many, they give me full-blown access, so to everything, to all the file servers, everything. So in my opinion, and as I said in the previous video that I did on 801X, that's a flaw. And the Mark 7 has this brilliant option. While I'm explaining this, I'm browsing my iPhone because I made a picture of what will happen when you enter the credentials on a phone. So if you go in here, you enter this stuff, and you click, it's gonna check something, and of course this will say, hey, it's not compliant, it doesn't work. But if it works, it gives you a certain page, and I'm browsing my phone at the moment to see if I got it somewhere, because that would be really interesting for you guys to see it. Did I store it? I think I did somewhere. Did I? Yeah, I did. So when you connect to one of those things on your phone, let's say I walk in an office anywhere worldwide, I connect to it with my username and password. It will show me this, and all I have to do is select trust. The moment I select trust, I'm in, I got Wi-Fi access, etc., etc. And it will tell you all kinds of stuff, like who's the organization. And remember this, because we're going to cover this on the Pineapple. Organization, country. To be honest, as a company employee, I don't know all of this shit. I'm really not interested. When I see this, I don't care. Trust, and I want to be on the internet. So it gives me all these stuff and datas. And what does it say? I have no clue. So why bothering looking into this? I just hit OK, and that's it. So, back to the Pineapple. This is where it happens. In the certificate, you saw locality, you saw the email, you saw the state, and this is, you can just put bogus in here. So, let's say we target company X. We're gonna attack this company. And what you would do, this is usually the country. And it, as I said, it doesn't matter. It's just bogus. All it needs to tell is if somebody clicks on the trust certificate and he says, hey, I want to see the details, this somehow needs to match, because if you don't fill this correctly, it will say Pineapple, Enterprise, just some stuff. So make sure this is kind of in the direction of where you want to go. So do some logical stuff like tech support at companyx.com. This is gonna pop up if they press details on the certificate. So just put something in here. That makes kind of sense. So press generate. And what the pineapple will do is it will make it temporary, and it says can take up to 5 minutes. It's gonna make some kind of a temporary certificate, of course a fake one, a self-signed as they call it. But trust me, I tested this with my colleagues. We hop office quite a lot, so they send us to a country. Hey, go to the office. There's a job for you. And the first thing you do is you open your laptop when you arrive. Either you scan for Wi-Fi and connect to the one you're familiar with, or you ask, hey, what's the SSID? And then everybody is like, boom, there you go. So you don't need to wait for this, I think, at least in the beta. If I would swap, it's still going in the back, so don't worry. We'll come back here in a second. So management access point, this is where you set your management access point for connecting to the pineapple as you would usually do. You can hide it, you can disable it. Now this makes sense to disable it since we have the option to with the management access to go in anyway. So that makes sense. This is also quite new. It was there quite a long time, but this is really cool because now you can clone a WPA protected access point, and I will tell you more about this in a second. Let's see if this is done or not. I think it's still going, so let's wait. It's at 5 minutes, so let's wait for this. What this will do, if you go to scan results and you select any of these, there's a button that says clone WPA. It allows you to impersonate a protected access point that you know the password for. So let's say you are at the library, the local library. There's a paper on the wall that says Wi-Fi SSID library X password welcome 1. So this is exactly what you would do with this. So if your laptop is going to try to connect to it, you would always be able to do that on open Wi-Fi's, but never on the protected ones. And I've been asking for this feature for a long time. And God knows how long this was in, but recently I found this feature. It's mind-blowing, it's amazing. I love this so much. I think it's in 1.1.1 stable that they introduced this, but it works really well. So you can even say, hey, capture the handshakes only on the one. It clones the MAC address for you. It does everything. So what you do is you put in the name of the company, of the SSID, the password that's written on the wall where it says free Wi-Fi, the type of encryption, and if this all matches with stored stuff in people's laptops, they will connect to your pineapple. And remember, you do still have the option to de-authenticate if they by accident connect to the library SSID. So you do the scan, you find the SSID of the library, you kick off the client, so de-auth the client. You make sure that your Wi-Fi pineapple is in the middle. You can figure that out based on scanning. So if you do some scanning and you make sure that the show DBI is active, you can figure out where the access point is in the library if you can't see it. You can even filter this on signal strength. So being the highest is low and being the lowest high. That's how decibels work. So minus 39 dB, I'm closer than minus 91. You need to remember that. That's a thing about how Wi-Fi signal works. So yeah, make sure that you are in the middle. So if there's a corner with the laptops and tables in the library, which many libraries have, especially during the COVID, where you could work in the library, you do some scanning, and if you're lucky, the access point is a little bit further away than the table with all the laptops and where all the people are. You're gonna sit in the middle with the PineAP, put it in your backpack, and this thing runs on a battery pack very long. So yeah, that's great stuff. What I was going to show you something. Where is it? My portals. Where are my portals? Here they are. I always put some screenshots in my portals. See, this is running on a battery pack, and it can go for hours. This thing consumes really low power. So yeah, put it in your backpack, sit in the middle, do some scanning, figure out where the access point is, and Bob's your uncle. Alright. Is my enterprise ready? Yes, it is. So if you wait long enough, this will pop up, and now you can say, hey, enable the enterprise mode. You can put the company X in here. So basically what you do is you what I'd like to look at how to approach this situation. So you're gonna attack the company X that has this fancy 801X certification. The way to approach this is that you copy their stuff. So you copy the company X stuff, you put it in here. From the scanning, you copy the MAC address, so you put that in here. So make sure that is a match. And then make sure that this is kind of the same. It basically does not really matter for the way I approach it, but it helps if people are secure, aware of their security. So being WPA, the old one, backwards compatibility with TKIP, so this is also for backwards compatibility, and so this one it goes from less secure to very secure. So this one is the most secure, assuming most companies will be up to date with Cisco and kind of stuff. Yeah, I would pick the top one. The authentication mode, if there's a reason for, you can force it, but leaving it on any, it's just see, there's a warning here. So clients will not be able to complete the association or pass traffic. We don't really care, because they will never, in my opinion, they don't need to succeed. As long as we got the username and password and they click OK and they trust the certificate, we got their stuff. We're not really interested in giving them internet access. To be honest, the Pineapple, they improved the speed a lot. So if you make your Pineapple to be on the LAN, you can use it as a pass-through. They can use the internet. We're not interested. We're only interested in capturing their stuff. So that's why you can downscale to the other mode. So by putting this on, I'm not sure if we're going to see two, because we already have the one I have. But what you would do in practice, what I found very useful in an office, and I'm talking about the offices my company has, that the access points are always laying on a table. It's stupid, but they have temporary offices, they have these cubicles, they temporary desks. You always see the Cisco access point laying on a table. It's stupid, I know, many companies putting away in the ceiling, but if you are able, if you have the opportunity, just unplug it. Just walk to the access point once you've copied everything. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to unplug the access point that I configured to be the company X one. Just unplug it. And now your evil portal, well, maybe not the portal, but your evil access point is up and running. Your enterprise access point. There we go. Here it is. So this is the Pineapple. And guess what? It's going to ask exactly the same. So this is what most people will do. They put in their email from the company, and especially when they have the Okta stuff going on. Oh, this is tricky, guys. I told you in the previous videos, if you capture these Okta kind of stuff, you'll have access to so many things. My company gives you access to Teams, to Office, to email, to Github, to basically everything they own. Our portals, the financial reports, everything. So depending on who you are with the company, depending on the rank, so I'm a programmer, so I don't have access to any financial stuff. But if you go on the website of my company and you click on who's working here, the Facebook, so to say, you click on the director of finance and you see his email. So yeah, come on guys, this is really easy to pick a target, right? Sit next to the finance desk and do this job with your pineapple in the back. Oh, you're gonna have so much fun. Anyway, I'm gonna type in bogus. It's gonna check. See, there's a little bit of a warning, and this is where it comes what you put in. And so normally most people just skip this step and they press connect. If they do, see, this is what I put into the pineapple. I put in the North Holland, which is the province, the country, and this needs to match. So the first line does not trigger any alarms. The second line, hey, pineapple certificate. I don't know what a pineapple is. A funny name, pineapple. If you don't know what a pineapple is, who cares? Bounce at hak5.org. That's tricky, right? Because if you're gonna go to Google and you press Hak5, you might be suspicious. But as said before, most clients, and I tried and proved this, and I'm planning on making a video of this because it's too ridiculous to be true. Many clients just press connect because they don't care about the certificate. They're like, hey, I just want to be connected. I want the internet. Get me on the internet. Okay, I'm not sure why it's gone now. But anyways, guys, you get the idea. And if you press OK, if you press connect, so let me disable this for a second. The moment they click connect, you got all their stuff. And as you can see in the previous video I made on 801X, you see how to, on the right side, you see all the challenges and all the data that you get from it. And yeah, happy days. So let's see if there's, not sure, I think this is my laptop, my computer doing this. I don't think it's the pineapple making this mistake. So if we go to, where is it? Are we still running? We are. Yeah, I need to look into this, if this is a problem of my side or since I basically didn't connect, it might now be in the ignore list. In the naughty list. See if we can spin it up again. If this takes too long, I'm gonna skip this step, but you get the idea, right? You can watch my video on 801X and you see how this works, how capturing and how we're cracking this code. But this is really useful, and it's a bit scary, to be honest, because a lot of companies, and I tested this, are vulnerable for this. Yeah, we're not getting it to work. Okay, anyways. We discussed the evil WPA access point. So this is the clone whenever you know the password and the SSID. And this is where you set up your open access point. So this is when you want to use the evil portal. This is where you set the SSID for clients to connect to. So it should be in this list. Maybe the pineapple just needs a little kick because I don't see the McDonald's in here anywhere. So maybe it's a good idea to pause for a second and get this thing up and running, because I think I broke it. Hey, the device is pretty rock solid. It's just not always rock solid, and might have to do with what I do to it. Let's wait for this to spin up again. Wait. The LED is blinking. But in terms of security, in value for money, let's be honest, guys. The box itself cost not even 150 euro. Version 2.0 gives you all this immense power, and people like me, we're giving you the pre-made portals. You can just load on there and swing around and do the things you need to do. It's terrifying. It's amazing. It's everything. So it's not back yet. Here's my there it is. See, now it works again. And this is my management access. So yeah, it's getting back. To be honest, I should have set up my Ethernet adapter to be static, because then I would be able to jump right in. I don't know the address right now, so there we go. Alright, so enterprise. Company X, there we go. So we're not going to cover all of this anymore because we've done that. You know now where to look for to get all the stuff ready. Yeah, I think, see, I'm now disconnected from Ziggo. See, we're on, this is the tricky thing, we're on the deny list now, so basically it's gonna mimic my own SSID, and this is where it gets tricky, guys. So what it did, I was seeing two management access points in here. See, it mimicked my own access point, so it's really troublesome to work with the deny list, guys. It even mimics our own stuff, and it's gonna just fill this list with everything it captures. So please be aware that you put this on the allow list. I can't emphasize this enough. So there we go. Alright, so it didn't capture any handshake in the meantime. I'm gonna leave it on deny now, so we're not gonna deal with capture handshakes. But the cool thing is that what they've done, you can find other videos on it. If once you collect one, you can see if you have so a handshake requires 4 steps. You can see if you got 1, 2, 3 or 4, and if you got all 4, yeah, you're able to crack it. I done a video on it, and if you'd like to have more videos on it, just let me know. I can make one. But it's going to make a mess out of this system if I don't deal with this correctly. So that's enterprise. So you know now how it works. We're going to disable it for now. You can remove the certificate if you'd like to and start all over. We've dealt with the evil access points, so that's done. Alright, next. So we already showed you a scan. So we did some scanning. Basically not much change there. So this is still the same. Add SSIDs to the pool. You need to be on the filter mode deny, otherwise you cannot add it to the pool. You can capture the handshake specific from this SSID, clone it. And then we have on the bottom the out of range and unassociated clients, which we can basically copy. We could copy this and put this in the allow list and play with it. So that's why this is showing in the bottom. Alright, activity. So this is where it tells you what it does, and this is kind of nice and it works kind of well. So you can see the pineapple is probing all these access points, and the reason is because if you go to the PineAP, it's in the advanced mode and it's allowing association. So we're going to put this back in a passive mode. And now it doesn't do as much as it did before. But here you can see what the pineapple does, so you can see if it's doing a probe, doing a mimic, doing it. It shows you a lot of details, so this is very handy. So system logs, we already seen that. Well, it tells you that. See, there's stuff. So 802.11, that's the thing we set up. So it tells you all these details. What it does. So this might be useful if you're interested in how Pineapple deals with all these systems. You can find a lot of information in here. I used it quite a lot when dealing with the firmwares. So, okay, so this is the module tab. Not much has changed here. So if you go get the available modules, make sure you are on the internet. So go in terminal ping 888. If that's okay, go back here. Sometimes if you're not connected, it might give you some weird warnings. So make sure to be connected. The evil portal is still my favorite. The good thing is that I see that Newbie started with some updates, because I see there's a 151 now. And that's what I said in the beginning of the video. The community is really active these days, and I'm really proud of everyone working on this. Because together we are strong, and when this box works and many people use it, one day we might be able to tell the world, be secure. Tell our moms and dads, our grandpas and grandmas, like, hey, improve your security. This is happening. People with only 150 euros and maybe less if they buy second hand, they got so much power these days. And I truly believe in this mission of Hak5 to make the world aware of security. And the other thing is, like, I'm really interested in security, how it works, how it deals with it, and that's all because of this. And I'm exploring, I'm testing and doing, I'm listening to your feedback, what you guys want to learn. I had contact with schools that ask me, hey Foos, how can you do this? Is it possible to do this and this and this? And yeah, it makes me happy that there's awareness. MDK4, I did a video on that one. My video unfortunately is gonna need an update soon, because some features that I explained are gone now. Still doing all the dependencies. Packages, this is useful when you want to do fancy stuff. So if you want to do stuff that's not out of the box supported. I think I lost connection to the box. No, I'm still good. So let's say you put an adapter on the box that's not supported. You can go into packages and then you can do a search. So if you have like an RTL special Ethernet adapter, you can go here and you can see if there's a supported firmware for that. I see by default it already had this Gizmet version of the dongle, and you can remove it and install it. But this is handy. So if you want to, I recently did a test on Kismet. You can even run full GUI side Kismet on the Pineapple now with the 2.0 firmware, which is amazing. I'm really in doubt if I need to do a video on that, because some other guys did it already. But you can run in just a few steps. You can run full-blown Kismet web GUI on the Pineapple, and you still have plenty of space left on the Mark 7. So yeah, this box amazes me every time. Develop, so you can develop your own stuff. That's the thing I'm going to. As a programmer, I'm interested in dealing with this, but I haven't found the time. And I'm like, if I want to do something, I want to do it all the way. So yeah, I need maybe your input to get this up and running. Okay, so the portal is still up and running. This is working now with the 2.0, the new one. It was broken before. You had to do many tweaks and workarounds. So thanks to the community, we got this to work back again. And yeah, so in my video, I use FileZilla to upload my portals. And all you need to do is make sure that you connect to your box. No, I don't want to. And the username is root. Oh, rot. It's the password you gave it in the beginning. Port 22 because we connect over SSH. It should ask me to update the key. Anyway, I'm not going to bother with this because I made tons of videos already on how to deal with this. Not sure if it's even going to connect. Timeout. Whew. Anyways, trust me, this still works. But as I said, I need to make sure that my network connector, I need to give this a static IP address because that's the way to deal with this kind of stuff in the proper way. So now I should be able to connect to it. And it's kind of tricky because I give it 42. I think I need to give it something else. Maybe 43. Because 42 is already in use. Remember, Darren Kitchen told us to put it on 42. So that would be a conflict. But anyways, so a lot of new features. Really recommend you to look into this stuff, the enterprise stuff and the evil portal stuff, which is real good fun. So this is, use this if you know the username and password, the SSID and password. Use this if you have a company that's doing super security fancy stuff. Yeah, guys, we have a lot of tools now to trick the world, and I'm really proud of the team that got all this to work. And that in a box of 150 euros. So guys, thank you for watching. The video is getting long now. Put in your requests. If you have something that you would like to see, let me know and I will make a video. For now, I'm gonna disable the comments on YouTube because it's getting out of hand very often. So if you just want to comment or contact me directly, make sure to visit my GitHub page. You can leave a message there, and yeah, I will do my best to come back to you and with some answers. And for now, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye bye.